Well, if you thought state lawmakers had trouble dealing with a massive budget shortfall, what would they do with a surplus? Projections are showing a healthy surplus rolling in from the last fiscal year. And joining me now to explain how this happened is State Treasurer Doug Ducey. First of all, Doug, let's explain to viewers. This is a projected surplus. So what's the difference here?
Yes, this is a projected. If you look at the trend line, what's possible in the future. So this is not cash in the bank. It's quite the opposite. It's what can happen in the future if the trend line that we have going backwards continues.
But this has caused a huge buzz over there at the state capitol, because this would be the first positive sign that we have seen since '07. Is this a sign that the recession may be turning around for the state, or is this a one-time deal?
This is a positive sign. It says that we're going in the right direction and that revenues are starting to tick up. So that part of it is a positive. In terms of what we should do with this, that's where the discussion comes in.
Now, you say that this is a gain in individual income taxes collected by the state. So did people make more money, or did they just simply pay more in taxes to the state?
It's a combination of two things. One, it's sales tax revenue. So the more transactions we have, the more sales tax revenue we collect. And then it's also personal income tax. So if you made more this year than you did last year, what we have to keep in mind, though, Sean, is how bad our economy has been and how flat on its back the private sector has been. So for us to be doing better this year than last year isn't really saying much. It's just saying it's improving slowly.
Now, I don't want you to get into politics too much here, but the state governor took a lot of heat for pushing that temporary 1% sales tax. Is this evidence that it worked?
This is evidence that we had a real structural deficit. We just weren't bringing in enough money to what we were spending. So finally, for the first time since 2007, state government has tightened its belt. It's matched revenues to expenses, and we do have a balanced budget at this time.
All right, now there's all sorts of ideas flowing in today when you announce this surplus, this possible projected surplus. Education, healthcare cuts. A lot of people say put it in the bank, save. The governor spokesman says, look, I need to buy back the state capitol. What's your take on all of this?
Well, I come from the private sector, and I'm new to state government, but I think that in the private sector, in families and small businesses, you have to live within your means. State government has just now this year begun to live within its means. So if we do have a surplus and this trend line continues, I'd like us to look at paying down some debt and putting some money away for a rainy day. Let's replenish that rainy day fund. Then we can talk about other programs, but we should do the fiscally responsible thing first.
All right, Doug, we are out of time. We'll know specifically in September if this is happening, yes?
We will know where we are in September, but we're going to have to go through the entire fiscal year until we actually have cash on hand.
All right, so stay tuned. State Treasurer Doug Ducey, thanks for joining us.
Thanks
Chris?
for having me.